So my name is Ogechi Harry, and I own Golden Hour. It's an art advisory firm that focuses on Black storytelling through art and design. And as I'm an attorney by trade, I work in architecture and design by day. But this is a passion for me. I love art. I love the stories that we can tell with art. And I believe that Black art should be collected. I think Black objects should be collected. And I feel like we don't get enough of that elevation in
Mhm.
common spaces, right? In the commercial and collector spaces. At least
Mhm.
for me that I've seen, I don't feel like we're elevated enough. And
Mhm.
so I started Golden Hour because I love art and what it's done for me. I used to be very creative when I was younger and have always just had um, an affinity for the arts. I used to dance, I used to sing,
Oh.
I used to draw and win awards. I no longer can do any of those things. Old age has taken me. But I think it's
Uh-huh.
really important for us, for our community, to collect our works and
Mhm.
objects. So it's not just paintings that we see on the walls, but it's also objects from our history or ancestry or family. It
Mhm.
doesn't have to be like this really pretentious thing. And I think that's my goal is to share that we are all collectors in our own right. And you don't
Mhm.
have to have some really fancy arts degree to be able to appreciate art.
Yeah.
But where I come in is I help you get a strategy together, help you with sourcing. I'm on my way to being an appraiser, an art
Mhm.
appraiser, which is very intense. I didn't know it was going to be this intense.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, it's like, oh my gosh. Okay. We're here
So,
though.
so you answered both of my first two questions
Okay.
because no, that's really good because I just want to recap a little bit. It's a collective of inspiring people to be able to, you're opening up people's eyes. Not really some, especially with what is art from our community. You're not opening up people's eyes, but you're helping them see that it's not that hard of a conversation to have about
Exactly.
art. Hmm.
Yeah, and and when I talk about art and objects, I mean, I'm including the beautiful baskets that you and your
I know.
team
Hmm.
create, right? These sort
Hmm.
of handmade artisan crafts.
Hmm.
And that's also part of the things we collect. And that
Hmm.
collecting isn't just about coins or artwork that you
Yeah.
see on the wall. It includes all
Hmm.
mediums. And I think it's really important because all of, the Black art and artisanship is seen in different mediums. And
Yeah.
so even when we're talking about, the really famous artists that we see in museums,
Hmm.
we should also talk about those artisans who were making
Yes.
really beautiful things, livable artwork. When we
Hmm.
talk about chairs and tables and baskets and, you know, clothing hooks, there's
Yeah.
art in all of that. And I think that
Yes.
sometimes that gets lost.
Yeah.
And all of it is intentional collecting. So part of my approach is to really focus people on intentionality because I think that we are consuming so much,
Yeah.
right? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, let me go and follow even on the collecting side, right?
Yeah.
Collecting should not be just to copy everybody and impress people.
Yes.
It really is about intentionality and what
Hmm.
we need as individuals in our spaces. So
Hmm.
are we curating the stories that we tell ourselves in our spaces
Yeah.
intentionally? And that is within the four walls of our space, whether you're in a business or whether you're in your home.
Hmm.
Are you randomly getting stuff in your space? So that means that your space is open to all kinds of interpretation because to yourself, right?
Hmm.
Not anyone else, but the things in your space have energy, story,
Yes.
history, right?
Yes.
And so all
Yes.
of those things matter.
Yes, they do. Yeah. And not just they matter, they make you feel good. When you have
Yeah.
certain
Oh,
objects or
yeah.
things that you look at, the senses, it helps you you know what's something neat about the baskets? I'll intertwine that into what you were
Yes,
saying is
please.
the baskets they look pretty, but they also give off this smell, this
Mm.
essence about them.
Mm.
And I always hear people say that when they bought a basket, they're like, they have a smell, especially if they keep them in a warm room. I'm like, well, they are made of
Right.
grass, and the grass is indigenous to the area. And I
Right.
just think to myself, that process of something in your home that wasn't chemically treated, or
Right.
like a lot of things now, people, certain forms of or structures or things they get, it's always something chemically done to it to alter it or
Hmm.
change it to make it look a certain way.
Yeah.
And whereas things that are made out of raw or indigenous materials, it's no change in that. The story's the same.
Right.
The way it was created hundreds of years ago is the same way they're doing
I
it
love
now.
that.
So yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
love too about that, being in that space and knowing what you're bringing into your home can give you joy. Also, like what you said, I love that you're building a platform where the conversation is made easier, because I think sometimes people are scared
I think so too.
to talk
Yeah.
about art or wonder, because you're not always. It doesn't have to be you're coming from a space of, well, I want this because I know in 20 years it's going to be worth
Correct.
this.
I'm
No,
not I'm not coming in
Mhm.
because I just want to flip
Yeah,
it and make an investment,
yeah.
you know. And it's tricky because you still want to be able to collect heirloom worthy,
Yes, that's what I was going to
right?
get to.
You
Yes,
want to be
helping
able
people
to.
put.
I
Hmm.
remember one of my favorite Cosby Show episodes is when Claire falls in love with this artwork
Yes.
that was in her family for
Hmm.
generations, and like somehow it got sold, and
Hmm.
Cliff bought it back, so now it's in the
Got it.
family,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And I love that episode because it is so much bigger than flipping
Yeah.
it. But it was like every time they walk by that piece, they know that this is a story that resonates with their family. It's in their
Hmm.
family and they were able to get it back,
Back. Yeah.
right? And so
Hmm.
when I think about objects too, right? I'm thinking, gosh, this this chair was made 7 generations of Yoruba carvers.
Hmm.
I know a carver who is very well known, and he has been doing this for like 9 generations, right?
Wow.
His father, his father, his father. Now he's
Yes.
making things that matters to me,
Yeah.
and so my clients are conscious about
Hmm.
stories. So if you don't care about stories, I'm probably not your girl, and
Hmm.
that's okay.
Hmm.
And that's
Yeah.
okay. If everything is mass produced for you,
Yeah.
that's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. But I am for helping people who want to be helped with a strategy,
Yeah.
right? And it's like, look, I can help you source things, but
Hmm.
first we're going to talk about intentionality. Like, what's the
Hmm.
goal? Why are you
Yeah.
hiring me? What are you trying to do with your
Hmm.
space? Is it for a space? Do you want to just start your collection and see how it goes? Intention,
Uh-huh.
because some people just
Matters.
want to
Yeah.
buy one or two
Hmm.
pieces and then let time tell. Everyone doesn't have endless
Yeah.
funds,
Yes.
so then what
Hmm.
that's a strategy too, right? Is to,
Yeah, it
like, when you
is.
get funds, you might start off with a more stable, or not stable, but a more secured piece of art that has been tried and tested, because you're like, I don't
Hmm.
know when I'm going to get the next one. This is really a staple in my collection.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or do you only collect a certain kind of thing? Like maybe you only collect quilts, or you
Yeah.
only collect, artwork that's made by fabric,
Yeah.
which is not necessarily a quilt, right? So I want our community to really have more language.
Yeah.
Like let's give language to this thing
Hmm.
that we've been doing for generations, which is
Gracious.
really
Yes.
right. Like
Yeah.
things that
And
you probably have passed down to you and your family, and
yes.
that is a curated
Yes, it
legacy of
is.
collections,
Yeah.
you know?
And also I think it's also good for us to be part of that conversation of not always people coming to an area purchasing something because they just like it. It's from the. It's funny because I was talking to another lady who was from Uganda, and she was saying how this gentleman was in this magazine. He had all these different crafts and these beautiful masks, and all he kept saying, "They're from Africa. They're from Africa,"
Right, because
but he
Africa
didn't.
is a country.
Yes, yeah. 'Cause yeah, no language or any importance to around, but yet when certain people get a certain type of olive oil, they know that it's from this region in Italy
Mhm.
that has these olive trees.
Yeah,
But
so
or
interesting.
wine or a certain, you know what I mean? And she
Yeah.
related it to that, and she was like, so they'll relate something that's made because olives, someone grows them and harvests them, and they
Yes.
have and family bloodlines
Mhm.
do this in certain
Mhm.
areas, and but yet it's important to them when they put that olive product out. They have a stamp of what region it came
Yeah.
from where, and she's, and she gave that, she was talking to me about that. She's like, it's and the reason why that happens is we get lost in not being part of the conversation
I love
and
that.
being part of
Yeah.
saying, well, this is where this is from. And it's just like, it's funny because people ask me sometimes, oh, why do you just do Senegal? There's baskets in here and back. It's a lot just
Hmm.
in the country of
In Senegal
Senegal.
itself,
So,
yeah.
you know what I mean? That's
Hmm.
and I want to bring a certain reverence or a certain honor to
Mm.
that work. And not to say it
I
neglects
love
anything
that.
that's going over in Nigeria, not to say it
Yeah.
neglects anything that's going over in Mali. It's just that I
You
want to
are
make
being
sure that's still
intentional about
intentional.
what you're
So yeah.
doing. And you're
So
not
I
just
think
saying everything, everything. You're saying, I have
yes.
selected
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
region and
Yes.
I
Yep.
want to intentionally focus on this
On this.
story, which
Yes.
is layered with
Wh-
different stories in
Yes. Which
between
is
and underneath,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I get that. I
Yeah.
get that.
So I think that's great with I have a product, but you also come into the space as meaning you consult and you can help someone find out what the story is instead of just selling
Yeah,
them a
yeah.
structure.
And I
Yeah.
actually really love that part because,
Hmm.
I'm an attorney
Yeah.
and we are storytellers. If
Yes.
you
Yeah.
really think about
Hmm.
our role, whether you're a litigator or whether you
Hmm.
are a transactional girl like me,
Hmm.
we are all about the
Yeah.
facts. Okay. And we want to know, okay, so why did you buy this on this day? Okay.
Hmm.
So when,
Hmm.
especially working in architecture and
Hello. Hello.
can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry,
Especially working
my
in
phone locked.
architecture.
Yeah, so
Uh-huh.
working in architecture, we have a lot of legal issues that pop up, but in the analysis of understanding what happened, we get into the detail.
Yeah.
So when they said this, what'd you say?
Hmm.
Oh, when you provided this, why did you provide it that way? Is there an error here? Okay, well, what is an error in your mind? What are we defining as an error? Well, I
Hmm.
think I'm
Hmm.
naturally inquisitive and
Hmm.
also details matter. I mean,
Yeah.
all lawyers are obsessed with detail.
Yeah.
And I'm not obsessed with minutia, which
Yeah.
is something I was talking to my friend about. Minutia is like stuff that doesn't matter, but the
Not
details
the
are the little
fluff.
bits that do, right? The
Hmm.
stuff that's like, okay, that's a lot more detail that's not really details.
Hmm.
It's just stuff.
Yeah.
But the details matter to me. And so I love to hear about what is your story and what are you trying to do? Okay, so you
Hmm.
love bold colors and you kind of
Hmm.
like a pop. You like playful scenes in your space
Uh-huh.
because your space is supposed to give off joy. Your space gives
Yeah.
off like a carefree feeling. I'm not
Hmm.
gonna get like really serious Renaissance paintings and source them for
Yeah,
you because that's not the story that she's trying to
exactly.
tell.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
she's not trying to tell that
yeah,
story,
yeah.
and that's okay, right?
Uh-huh.
So I do like that part as well. Like, okay,
Hmm.
what's your strategy? Are you trying to collect more? Are you just sort of seeing what's in the market? Do you want us to kind of talk about what draws you in? Because maybe you don't
Yeah,
know. Here's
yeah.
some artists I think you would like. So what I do
Uh-huh.
when folks work with me, I ask them to share images of just go on Instagram, go on Pinterest, and
Hmm.
share 3 pictures of art that resonate
With them.
with you, right? Like just,
Hmm.
and then I look at them and I'm like, oh, okay, I kind of see your style. I hear like
Hmm.
5 artists that I'd love to talk to you about. And then we
Okay.
also talk about budget. Budget is part
Hmm.
of the conversation because I won't be showing you. something that's like $20,000 when you said you have a $5,000 budget. So
Hmm.
all of that is really sort of curated in the process that I work with them on.
So people know, and I'm sure they'll be curious, how do you do this? So what ways do you, and you just mentioned Pinterest, you asked them to send you something, but what other ways do you have these conversations with people as far as people wanting, say if someone just wants to go to art gallery and they've
Hmm.
never experienced that, do you
Yeah.
do things like that? Will you, mhm.
Yeah. So I also encourage people to educate themselves and like
Uh-huh.
go to art fairs.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
that's part of the conversation too. It's like go to art fairs, see what you like,
Mm-hmm.
um, take in art, go to art
Mm-hmm.
residency programs, go to art schools. There's all